All right, how old are you?
19, ma'am.
All right, why are you riding in stolen vehicles?
Just hanging around the wrong crowd, to be honest,
No,
ma'am.
you are the wrong crowd. That's what other people would say. Court is calling 2024 CR 2985, State of Texas versus Daniel Balderas. Can I have parties that for the record for the state? Defense?
Elizabeth Settle for the defense.
Are you Daniel Balderas?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Balderas, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your
Mr. Valderas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This is the run concurrent with County Court Cause number 733375. There's to be restitution, if any, to Maybelline Cortez. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest, ma'am.
State, any evidence?
State all for state exhibit 1 and all evidence.
No objection.
All right, and state, have you spoken with the complainants?
Judge, we've made attempts to reach the complainants, but so far I don't think.
All right, thank you. You may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation and testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor. We just ask that you follow the plea bargain.
All right, how old are you?
19, ma'am.
All right, why are you riding in stolen vehicles?
Just hanging around the wrong crowd, to be honest,
No,
ma'am.
you are the wrong crowd. That's what other people would say. The co-defendant or the other suspect who's with you, Sandoval, his family would tell me he's hanging around with the wrong crowd and that would be you. So what are you doing with your life?
To be honest, I'm just trying to finish school and get a job and just do good.
How are you just trying to finish school? What are you doing?
Well, right now I'm looking for like schools to be able to get my GED and my high school diploma.
You can find that anywhere on the computer. If you can drive around in a car that doesn't belong to you, I'm sure you can go on the computer. Do you have a phone?
Yes, ma'am.
A cell phone?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure there's Google or whatever on that cell phone. You can Google, there's places throughout San Antonio where you can get your GED.
Yes,
Why didn't you finish school?
and I was in juvenile, didn't get a chance to finish it.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's a good thing. You need to get your life in order. You understand?
Yes,
Who do you
ma'am.
live with?
My mom.
All right. This is what the court will do. There is a $500 fine. That will be probated. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. This is run concurrent with County Court Cause number 733375. There's to be 120 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you obtain your GED or if you're in some sort of trade school and you graduate. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Clean
All right, when's the last time you used?
months, since like six months.
And using what?
Marijuana.
All right, there's going to be regular random UAs. And make sure he's tested for levels if he comes out positive. If he is positive, what we're going to do is there's going to be the UA hotline if he's positive. And he's going to stay on that UA hotline until he presents with a negative UA. And then we'll go back to regular random UAs. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There is to be no contact with the following persons. Kevin, I don't know if this Kevin, in the police report, it's Keving. Ricardo, Richardo, Alvarez Sandoval. There's to be restitution and no contact with Maybelline, Mabeline, Ashley Cortez. And let him take the theft course. And there's to be field visits 1 time per month until he is employed or obtaining his GED. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I was just wondering about my GPS monitor. The hours, it's been kind of like interfering with me getting a job because I already had like 2 job interviews, but the hours that I got for my curfew, like my officer said he wasn't able to do nothing about it. So
All right, we'll extend his curfew on GPS. So his curfew, he's allowed out of the house from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Fridays. And then Saturday and Sunday, he's to be at home unless he's employed or at school.
Judge, how long will he be keeping the monitor on?
Until further notice. We'll see how things go. How long you are on that monitor is 100% dependent upon you. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, you're young. Let me just tell you something. If you want things, go out, get a job so you can afford things. But at the end of the day, when all of us die, guess what? Your things cannot go with you. Although I've heard of people being buried with their car, which I don't know why you would do that because it costs extra, I'm assuming, to have a car for you to be buried in. But I'm sure if you're driving around in vehicles that don't belong to you, you're not necessarily attached to it. We should not be attached to things anyway. You understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, we're going to do Bobby Rivera. Your attorney has that date, but I don't know if he's finished talking.
You told me yet.
All right. All right, so Mr. Pardo, we're going to bring you back, and when we bring you back, that will be your plea deadline date, okay? All right, thank you. Thanks for your patience. All right, we are back on the record in 2023 CR 5513. Counsel, it's the court's understanding that you've been in, I guess, text messaging communication with the state. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And have you had a chance to discuss with your client the actual charge that should be in the court's admonishments and defendant's waivers?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, off the record briefly.
Yes, Judge.
So, are we
Can the court hear me, Judge?
No, Judge, it's just, the ink officer. I just wrote in just because it actually was a high assault deadly weapon, but the count one, or the count two, count three. And so I
All right,
just put that
so-
in, or I could cross it all out.
All right, so parties, my understanding, you all just proceeding on intoxication of assault?
Yes, sir.
All right. So any objections from either side to the court, just whiting that part out since
No,
y'all are defense, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, just so your client will be aware. So what the state is proceeding on is an intoxication assault. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, we're back on the record. All right, the state is proceeding on intoxication assault. Is that correct, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why my computer keeps doing this? I'm sorry, just give me a second. My computer is freezing on me.
Take your time, Your Honor. So you have a lot of IT problems lately.
Yeah, but it's Monday, so that's when you should have them.
Yes.
Yep. I keep thinking of that song. It's just another manic Monday.
It is. I wish it was fun day,
Yes,
because that's my fun day.
that's it. Yep.
Norma, would you call Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Well, he has a client on the docket. Yeah. All right, we're on the record. Did you review the document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand that the state is proceeding on count one of an intoxication assault?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do so believe.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bobby Rivera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to appeal. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision. There's a DWI intervention course, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term, and regular or random UAs. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to count one of the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Take it all for state's simple one and all.
Any
We have
objection?
we've carefully reviewed the same, Your Honor, and we have no objection.
Right. Did you review the document entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, we would waive the PSI if that's okay with the court.
All right, and state, have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
Judge, we had talked to them a few different times. They were aware that it would likely be a probation offer. I don't think the specifics as to length were discussed with them.
All right. All right, anything you wish to say on your behalf of your client, Mr. Rivera?
Yes, Your Honor. I have known this young man for some time, and we've discussed all of these issues involved in this case and his life. He has a small company that does roofing, and he does contractual work in that regard. Some of his contracts take him on base, and we have discussed the matter that once he is found guilty of this charge, he will not be allowed to go on base anymore. So those contracts will be out of his jurisdiction. But he'll have plenty of work in the Bexar County area and surrounding areas in regards to the roofing. And he's doing okay with that. Also, since the incident, and I think it's been maybe close to 3 years, he's been on bond. He's been completely compliant. He has had the machine in his vehicle the entire time, and blown in it regularly. He has been a model citizen since the time of the incident. He's a young man, and he knows the gravity of the situation. He did have insurance, and the insurance covered the damages and the injuries that resulted from the accident, Your Honor. We would ask that the court respectfully follow our plea bargain agreement. We would ask for 4 years probated for 4 years, and the other requirements regarding the DWI education class and the VIP program, and the 100 hours of community service.
All right. State, has all the restitution been paid?
My understanding from talking to the complainants is that they went through their insurance to handle all the damages.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be DWI intervention course, victim impact live. There's to be the DWI education course, ignition interlock for half the term. There's to be regular random UAs. A TAP evaluation to be out of custody, follow all TAP recommendations. 100 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children?
Not yet, Your Honor.
When you say not yet, what do you mean?
I plan to in the future, hopefully
Okay.
a year or two.
All right. There is to be restitution, if any, to Bianca Hernandez. I understand both parties are telling me that the restitution has been paid in full. But that's just to make sure. If there's more restitution that's ordered, counsel, we can have a restitution hearing on that and both parties can present whatever information concerning restitution that the court needs to hear, or you feel the court needs to hear.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's regular reporting by Zoom or in person, proof of employment within 30 days. I'm going to want 120 sober meetings in 120 days, field visits one time per month for 3 months, and then at probation's discretion. Probation, if the recommendation is for inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment, supportive outpatient treatment. Probation, is there anything else that's needed?
No employment as.
Yes, no employment as a home, I'm sorry, proof of employment within 30 days.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Sure.
Since I'm self-employed, how would you like me to?
Oh, probation will discuss with you
Oh,
what
okay,
proof
yes,
they need.
Yes.
All right, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Is there anything else, probation?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, yeah.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sure.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. This could have turned out so much worse. It still is a bad thing because somebody was injured, right?
I understand.
I don't drink alcohol. I don't think it tastes good. That's just me, right? I know that some people drink alcohol. They go out to dinner, they have drinks. Here's the easiest thing to do. If you know you're going out to dinner, if you're going to have drinks, just have a designated driver or call it Uber. And guess what? The Uber may be expensive, but I think it's better to pay $20, whatever Uber is charging, or taxi cab. Even if they're charging $40, I think that's cheaper than the expenses you're about to have now. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. And
So-
potentially hurting somebody else.
And anybody could have been injured, right? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2024 CR 1605, State of Texas versus Jesus Alejandro Herrera. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Kelly Piddle?
And are you Mr. Herrera?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, we did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Herrera, did you review what's entitled application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review what's entitled true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of solicitation of a prostitution or other payer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
yes.
Mr. Herrera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Honor. Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No,
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
no objection.
All right, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We ask to proceed today.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we're just asking for follow-up.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Contracting?
Do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
1, 5, and 8-year-old stepson.
All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication, 100 hours of community service restitution. The court is going to require a parenting class. Once you complete the parenting class, your community service restitution hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. You can either do the regular random UAs or the drug patch. Drug patch costs more, but it helps more with any time constraints you may have. They will put it on. And then after it's due to be removed, they will remove it, not you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months, and then at probation's discretion. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And probation, do you have a sex class? What is the sex class that they have to tell people don't solicit prostitutes?
I'm not sure if you have one, Judge, but I can.
They-
look into it.
They have like a.
I think it's AIDS awareness.
They
Okay.
do have misdemeanors.
We'll do AIDS awareness course. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I don't think anybody ever grew up saying, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a prostitute, right? And I think the prices they charge are still the same prices from the 80s, which is $20 for fellatio and $40 for all else. And then some will say, $10 for this. I'm not saying this from personal experience. It's just from when I was a defense attorney. You cannot build your happiness of somebody else's misery. And people who are doing that are living in misery. Either their family has kicked them out, either they're on drugs, either they've suffered some sort of trauma. And now they have new STDs. They have something called super gonorrhea. Guess what? There's no cure for super gonorrhea. And here you are out doing this and then going back home to your wife. You understand?
That's right.
So you're going to have to start making better decisions and do not do this again. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you. You're
Thank you,
welcome. Javier, have we done the case on Rivera? Rivera, come forward. Jesse. Okay.
I'm here, Judge.
And Norma, see if you can get IT back. Norma, see if you can get IT to come back. Oh, you are here with IT. But he's tried to solve it. So see if you can get IT to come back for this. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 5513, State of Texas versus Bobby Gomez Rivera. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar, with State of Texas.
Defense?
Jesse Rivera, Judge, on behalf of
No,
Mr.
defense.
Bobby Rivera.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
audio.
Can you hear me, Judge? It's on, Judge.
All right, Mr.
Hello?
Rivera, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chat with you. They changed out the system and they have left things undone. Any objections to Defense Attorney Rivera appearing by video?
No, Judge.
Do you have any objections?
No, ma'am.
All right.
I hear everything.
Any objections to the court chatting with Mr. Rivera?
No, Judge.
No, ma'am.
All right.
No
Mr.
objection.
Rivera, have you received all the discovery? If you received all the discovery, please give me a thumbs up. And did you review that document and the discovery with your client? The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Bobby Rivera, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you
Your Honor.
understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yeah.
All right. State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're proceeding on count one.
Counsel, any objection to the waiver of count 2 and 3?
No
Counsel indicates no objection. Mr. Rivera, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did
Yes.
you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on count 1, intoxication assault with a vehicle, serious bodily injury? All right. So there's some corrections that need to be made to the paperwork. I think because Odyssey is doing something, Odyssey printed intoxication assault for count 1, intoxication assault with a vehicle, SBI, and another intoxication assault with a vehicle, SBI, and then third degree, third degree, third degree. All right, just give us a moment, Mr. Rivera. We're going to go off the record. If you'll have a seat,
Yes.
and then we'll bring you right back up. Mr. Briones, where are you?
The President, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 0040, State of Texas versus Diamond Champagne Dancing. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense?
Ricardo Briones for Miss Danzy.
And are you Miss Dancy? All right. Defense has filed a motion asking that a bond be set in this case. This is a deferred adjudication, so she's entitled to a bond. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
So I looked on our filing system. I did not see it, but I'm still happy to. It won't take me longer than 15 seconds, Judge. I'm otherwise ready. I looked at the history of the case.
All right. So defense, what are you requesting for a bond?
Your Honor, we want it to be set as low as possible. I've been in contact with her mother as well as her sister. They don't have a lot of money at their disposal. Miss Danzy has been incarcerated over the weekend. I think the whole reason for the MTR was that she picked up a new charge. Other than that, I didn't I didn't expect any other violations of the MTR. So she's been following her MTR, and she's been, keeping a stable job of employment, has a stable residence. I think she'd be a good cat. She would show up to court. She showed up before. So we're just asking for something reasonable, Your Honor, maybe 5,000.
All right. State?
I believe, and Your Honor, I may have misread at the very bottom of the first page, potentially a $2,000 was mentioned. The state is unopposed to a $2,000 bond, Your Honor. I believe it's a Class B misdemeanor, Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, for the new charge, the new number 1.
Yes.
So, again, if I read the bottom of that first page right, the state is unopposed to the $2,000.
No, he's asking for $2,000 in his motion. Defense, are you asking for 2,000? Are you asking
Yes,
for
Your Honor.
5,000?
I'm sorry, 2,000, Your Honor. I apologize.
All right, you want to put any evidence on it as to how much bond, what bond amount her family or she is able to afford, counsel?
Well, Your Honor, I don't have her family at the disposal. I have been texting them. They've been talking to numerous, bond companies about a bond, and they, as I said before, I mean, my argument would be that they don't have a lot of means. They have been inquiring about her pretty steadily throughout the entire weekend, and they do need her out, and she needs to be out as well.
All right, so what amount are they telling you that they can afford?
They could afford a bond on $2,000.
All right, and states you have no objection to the $2,000 bond?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
I'm going to set the bond at $2,000. There's to be random UAs as a condition of bond. And there's to be daily sober support meetings as a condition. And there's to be no driving without a vehicle equipped with ignition interlocked. All right, and Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this in 3 weeks for a contested hearing, please. All right, July 23rd will be your contested hearing. If it turns out you all come to an agreement and it's not contested, then of course the court will hear it.
Sure.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, if you can give her a reset form.
Yes, ma'am, it'll be just a few minutes.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to go back on the record in 2024 CR 2974, State versus Hector Casanova. Mr. Casanova, if you'll come forward. All right, so Mr. Casanova, Mr. Bonk is going to be your standby counsel. And that's someone that if you have questions, you can ask him legal questions or what you may have.
Thank you for your consideration.
All right. And he informed me you wanted to place something on the record?
Yes, for the record, I wanted to make it known that I'm here on special appearance under threat, duress, and coercion.
All right, who threatened or coerced you to come to court?
The county of Bear, Texas.
How
State.
so?
Well, if I don't come here, then warrants will be placed, which I will be kidnapped and held hostage, and I do not want that. So that's why I'm here under special appearance to clarify any misunderstandings and to let it be known where I stand on the record.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I said everything that needed to be said.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall your case in 1 month. It's going to be a discovery setting. So that's to make sure that you have all the information that the state has concerning your case. Do you understand?
I do understand.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a 30-day reset for Mr. Casanova, and after you receive all the discovery, then the next setting is going to be a plea deadline date. The state will tender an offer to you at the next setting. And then I'll give you your plea deadline date, and you can accept the state's offer, come to an agreement or not. If you're unable to come to an agreement at that time, it'll be scheduled for jury trial.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have no further questions.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson is going to give me a date, and then you'll sign it. Mr. Bonk will sign it to signify when you're to come back. All right.
I appreciate your time.
All right, you're welcome, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court. What date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, so we'll be back on July 29th. All right, once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. Yes.
If something were to come up and I need to maybe reschedule that date. Is that a possible thing? To
You'll
come
need-
up ahead of time?
You'll need to speak to the court coordinator and they will let you know. I will tell you the rescheduling of cases. Are you in the hospital? You're not in the hospital, you need to be here.
Okay,
You understand?
so pretty much no excuse, be here.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.